Howdy, this is Mackenzie Franklin from SideGame LLC here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Today we're going to be taking a look at Merchants of the Dark Road, a fully sleeved copy of the Kickstarter edition of the game designed by Brian Suri and published by Elf Creek Games. Now this game has no lid lift right now, and we've gone ahead and made some modifications to the insides of the game, as you'll see soon, that are going to speed up gameplay and get you started right away. Now that being said, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please make sure that you do. It is the best way to help us grow. But let's go ahead and take a look at how to organize Merchants of the Dark Road. So first off, let's go ahead and lift this lid off, and inside you'll see that we have our game board in the form of these large puzzle piece tiles. They'll just rest on the top, and underneath that you'll have your rulebook. Those puzzle pieces will keep it nice and flat. Now, in addition, you do have a pamphlet here that is going to tell you how to store the game. You don't need this because honestly, this storage system is pretty awful. So the insert that comes with it has you stacking a lot of the components on top of each other, including cards and dice, and really it is just a bear. I really think this is an abysmal insert, so we went ahead and removed it. There's a lot of wasted space, unfortunately, and it does not have you getting started as soon as possible and really slows down that gameplay. So we've gone ahead and removed this, so you'll go ahead and remove the how to pack and store guide as well, because you're not going to need it anymore. Underneath that, you have your final game board piece, and that brings us to the good stuff. On the right side here, you're going to have your wheel for your market, your two companion rulebooks for the solo mode and the Patrons Provisions expansion content, your player shields for the game, as well as all of the different carts for the different player colors. They all fit nicely on this right side here. Up next, we're going to take a look at the player bags. Now, if you don't have these bags, have no fear. You can simply just put them into a plastic bag. But inside of each of these, you're going to have your player components. First off, $5, one luminous die, your player cart, a horseshoe, and then 7 of these nighttime dice. So all of these are just going to go in a bag for each player, and then these bags in particular, you can cinch them up very nicely on the back here. So each player is going to have one of those for the 4 colors. So we'll take out those remaining bags here, and any that you don't use, you can just leave inside. On the left side here, you'll see that we have the container that actually comes in the game, and I really like this one. This is going to store all of your resources, and it's just going to come off and be put in the center of the table. So we'll lift the lid here, and inside you'll see that we have a nice organizer here for your lanterns, your crystals, and your horseshoes, and then lastly, a large pile for your coins. So it works extremely well. I really like this. Put that in the center of the table. In addition, the lid here also contains all of your different goods sorted by their sizes, and this, once again, works really well. There are these really nice double-sided tiles with a nice shiny upgraded side as well as your basic side, and they fit very nicely into that organizer. So once again, pop that lid off and just put that in the center of the table. Up next, we have a box that's going to contain all of your different commission tiles. Now, these are organized based on where they're going. So for example, they're going to Fargolin here, and you're going to actually shuffle all of the ones for Fargolin and then put them on that Queen's Commission boards with the other 5 regions. So because of that, you're going to have them organized here in those specific types, and I'll leave a link in the description below for this plastic container I use. Now there's a secondary option for storing these tiles. You can always place them in microfiber bags. You're going to want to make sure that they're color-coded based on that type, and that way you can pull them out and keep it appropriate here. Now I find it a little confusing to remember which of these goes to which nation, so that's why we have them in this plastic container here, and then we'll just put them on the board beforehand. So you do have some options, and I'll make sure to leave a link in the description for those bags, as well as if you want to use these plastic containers. So those are the commissions. The final portion of the box here is simply just a cardboard box. This is actually from the Dinosaur World Kickstarter, but you can use anything that has an open face, any type of supportive cardboard. Because you are going to be putting those player boards on top, having a nice cardboard piece like this keeps them nice and flat and keeps them supported. The first item in this box has all sorts of different things inside. This is just a standard plastic bag that you're going to be using every game, and each of these things goes into a specific spot on the board, so it's nice to just have them all here because you will need to use them and allocate them every time. Now, the first thing we have are the luminous dice, the extra ones of those, your travel dice, as well as your Oracle and Ruins die. You have all of your upgrade tokens for your wagons and your district markers. So each of these things has a specific spot that it goes on the board. So it's really nice just to have them in one bag and just simply dump them on the table. With that being said, you also won't need to roll these dice anymore because they've been randomized after dumping them on the table. They're good to go, and this is simply the fastest way to get these set up and going. Underneath that, you have your building tiles. You're going to randomly choose 4 of these and place them on the game board at the start of each game. Underneath that bag, you're going to have all of your event cards. These are going to be the dark roads as well as your shortcuts. And then you also have some player aids here with how to actually go through the round and where to find specific resources. Now, unfortunately, if you did get the sleeve pack in the Kickstarter, you're going to be missing 2 sleeves for this game. So I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description below where you can find sleeves of this size. They're a little bit tricky to find. Only Mayday currently has these large jumbo sleeves. So those are all of your event cards. On top of those event cards, you're going to store all of your small cards. These include your starting hero cards, which can be denoted by this little star on the back of them. And then you're going to have all of your deed cards as well as the remaining hero cards. So those are all just grouped at the top here. If you're looking for sleeves for this specific type, you're going to be looking for mini European game card sleeves. There's many different brands. My recommendation to you actually are Titan Shield brand. I think they fit extremely well and I really like the matte finish on them. I'll leave links in the description below for these sleeves. Up next, we have all of your companion cards. These are for when you are traveling. You'll go ahead and recruit one of these guys to help you out. And then next to that, you're going to have all of your different mounts. These will be randomly distributed at the start of the game. It's for a little bit of asymmetry for each player. You have them in 2 forms. You have the card form as well as the tile form. So you can use whichever form you see fit when you decide to play the game. The sleeve size for these are the standard European board game size. We use the Fantasy Flight Purple normally when we're using this brand, but they also have ones that are specific to Merchants of the Dark Road. On the right side of this plastic bag here, you're going to have all of your secret message tiles. These are part of the Patrons Provisions expansion. On the back here, it explains how you're going to use that Watcher's Words module, and you'll simply shuffle them into the different commission tiles for their specific type here. In this plastic bag here, you're going to have all of your items for solo mode, including delivery tiles, these large cards, including the guild notice cards and the private concern action cards. You're also going to have your sarcophagus cards and all of the pieces for your solo mode. So all of these are just going to go in this tile bag. They use the same sleeve size for standard European and mini European, so the same for the rest of the cards in the game. You'll just put these in their own bags, so when you do decide to use a solo mode, it's all right here and ready to go. And underneath that solo mode bag, we have our additional extra sleeves. Once again, there were not enough in that Kickstarter edition to sleeve all of the event cards, so you will need to find alternatives for those. And that's everything in the Merchants of the Dark Road box. Let's go ahead and pack it up. So first off, in our small box, we're going to go ahead and put those sleeves as well as the solo modes, our special secret message tiles on the right here, our steed tiles and cards and companion cards, our hero cards, starting heroes and deed cards, our building tiles, our event cards, and our plastic bag with all of our starting components inside. On the bottom, you're going to put all of your commission tiles. We're going to place our large organizer from that original organization system, all of our player bags with our starting player components inside, our player wagons, our player shields, our solo rulebook, our expansion rulebook, as well as our wheel for the different items. We'll place the large tile for the main game board, our rulebook to keep it nice and flat, and the remaining game board tiles on top. And that is organizing Merchants of the Dark Road Deluxe Kickstarter Edition. If you have any questions about what you saw here, please let me know down in the comments below. How do you organize your copy of the game? Did you continue to use that insert that came in, or did you find it too cumbersome as we did? I'd love to hear what you think and what you think of the game in general. But thank you so much for watching. SideGame strong.